Your impression of Brunello 2009?
My impression of Brunello di Montalcino 2009, to borrow words that were given to me by some producers, is a smaller vintage. It doesn't have the elegance or the huge power of 2006 or 2007. Many of the wines are very thin in the mouth. They're very short. And I think a lot of this has to do with when the producers decided to harvest. Some producers harvested a little bit earlier, resulting in wines with less color, less structure, but perhaps they're a little bit more balanced in terms of acidity. Whereas other producers opted for a later harvest, looking for more mature fruit and bigger color, and those wines appeared a little bit less balanced with higher alcohol and sometimes some overtly jammy notes. So 2009 definitely won't be a vintage of long aging potential. It's a vintage that should be consumed in the near term because it doesn't have the qualities for very long aging potential. But some of the wines drink very nicely. I also had the opportunity to taste the riservas that seem like a whole new category of wine, another category of wine, because the color, the concentration, the intensity of those wines is much bigger. And we have discussed in the past that the concept of riserva for Brunello di Montalcino needs to be redefined and focused a little bit, because if the point of Montalcino is to offer wines that are territory specific, single vineyards, or the concept of cru, riserva is a perfect category for that expression.
Your impression of Brunello Riserva 2008?
My impression of the wines was good. Actually, I was pleasantly surprised. They definitely represent a bigger style, more use of oak, higher concentration of color and intensity. They're completely different than the Annata 2009. They're almost two completely separate wines, it seems.
What about the future of Brunello di Montalcino?
The future, I think we're in a really interesting moment that has been very touching for me on this trip to see, because I see a lot of young faces and I see a lot of kind of a good atmosphere that I think we have definitively closed a chapter of uglier chapter that started in 2008 with the scandals that happened here in Montalcino. And now we have on the horizon two wonderful vintages that will come out, 2010 and 2012, that in a certain way represent a new chapter for Montalcino. And even the very sad death of Franco Biondisanti, in a way, leaves Montalcino like an orphan that needs to kind of find its way. And I'm hopeful and sure that will happen, especially with these wonderful vintages that are coming on the market soon.